listening to Home Sweet Home Chicago with David Hochberg.
Stephen A. Leahy, you want to talk about bankruptcies and foreclosures?
I was going to talk about exemptions, home exemptions. If you're interested in home exemptions, I have a free report. You can go to WGNTaxman.com. There's a free report there, and it explains what exemptions are and which ones are available. So go there, get that report for free. And I was going to talk about that, but I got a call from someone here from the radio station. He talked to David, and David sent him over to me, and he was worried that he was going to lose his home because he hadn't paid his mortgage since October or something like that, because he lost his wife. Yeah, and so he just decided, he just went into a shell and stopped paying.
But hold on, how often does that happen when somebody has a major life challenge like that?
Absolutely.
Right? A wife passes, somebody gets sick, a child goes...
Even divorce.
A divorce. I'll tell you what, a lot of this COVID is really messing with people's heads, and it's a lot of mental health issues going on right now. What are our listeners supposed to do, Steve?
Well, you and I were talking about mortgage companies now being so much better than they were the last crisis in 2008, 2009, where they were rushing to the courthouse and filing foreclosures against everybody. Now, this gentleman did have a foreclosure pending, and he thought his house was going up for sale. But it turned out, he says, well, I need to file Chapter 13 like tomorrow. And so I did some investigation. I found out, no, the house wasn't going to sale. They had a mediation. So mediation means that you're going to talk with the mortgage company and try to work out a deal.
Right, a servicer.
So maybe we don't have to file bankruptcy. Maybe the servicing company or the mortgage company will work with us and do a loan modification. And this is what's so much more common now than it was. And a lot of times you don't even really have to. Used to take months and months and months and months to do a loan modification. But now sometimes you get one. You give them some information. They send it the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You got a loan modification. It's incredible the change from 10 years ago to now.
Well, we learned a lot.
Yes.
Okay, we learned a lot as an industry and as a society that, guess what? When a challenge happens to our country, right? In 2007, 2008, 2009, it was the banking industry blowing up. This is a pandemic. What did we learn? It's not a good thing to panic people and put people into a state of absolute comatose shock. And it's also not a good thing to have them line up around gymnasiums throughout the United States to talk to a housing counselor, wait 7 to 10 hours in line, and then have them sit in front of somebody for a half hour, 45 minutes, and then lose their documents 5, 6, 7 times.
Over and over again.
And that was the game plan from 2008 to 10. And what they learned this time, Dave, I'll get to you in a second. What they learned this time was if you call with the challenge, you're going into forbearance without any proof, you're in. And I'll tell you what a lot of our listeners are doing, which opened my eyes because I was not aware of this. A lot of our listeners are going into forbearance and still making the mortgage payment in the month that it's due. They just can't make it by the 15th. And if you don't make it by the 15th, you get a late fee. So what they're doing is they're still making the mortgage payment in the month because they feel responsible. They just can't do it by the due date of the 15th.
And more importantly than that, it's the credit score, right? Because it's not being 100% reported.
100% right.
So you could pay the fee. The penalty is one thing, but if I'm being reported late, it's going to reflect on my credit score.
Dave Schluter.
Another reason they're being more cooperative is the lenders know the pain of owning all those homes that they get through foreclosure.
Exactly. And they learned that.
Carrying all the insurance
and the legal fees that they all had to shoulder to get these properties and then do nothing with them.
And the biggest thing is the property values throughout the entire area drop 50 to 60 to 70%, as we saw in 2008. Yes. Okay, and that is one of the smartest things. Listen, I'm the first guy to be critical when I see something knuckleheadish going on in my industry. That's the smartest thing that they did when they came out. And that's why I went on the radio in March right away. And I called all my partners on the radio, and I got on as many shows as I could to get this information out. I'm like, here's what it means, and this is what you need to do, and you need to do it now. And this is what you need to say in order to get it. And people, let me tell you, thousands, I get emails every single week of our listeners thanking me for giving them that information.
One of the things that people were concerned because like, well, I'm going to owe 4 months then. Like it was for July. July was coming. I'm going to owe 4 months. But I'm going to tell you, so many are out in front of this, and they're doing they're paying it back. You get a repayment plan,
yes,
or you get a loan modification.
Yeah,
all of this is still available. Used to be that they used to play that game. You couldn't file bankruptcy because you were working with the mortgage company to get a loan modification. But then it got so long you could never file bankruptcy because you owed too much.
Right.
Okay. So, but it's going much more quickly now. You should have bankruptcy in your pocket because it might be what you have to do. But always go to your mortgage company first and try to work something out with them.
And if our listeners have questions, what number is it?
Call me at 312-664-6649. Again, that number is 312-664-6649.
So not only bankruptcy, not only IRS tax challenges, but also real estate tax appeals as well.
Yes,
You're the real estate tax guy. And what counties right now in Cook County, what townships in Cook County are being serviced
the townships,
right now?
If you go to the assessor's office, they have a list up there. And so right now it's Stickney, Elk Grove, West Chicago, Worth. So they've changed the schedule because of COVID. So the schedules have been shifted over.
What are those townships again?
And actually, all townships in Cook County are going to be reassessed this year.
Oh, great.
So that's new because they usually do a third.
Yeah, third.
But now they're doing them all.
Oh, happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.